underwear. Are you wearing any? You probably are, and I'm going to tell you why you are. Because this video is all about the history of underwear. And let me tell you, it's a fascinating history. And just to be clear what we're talking about here, because I ain't talking about animal hides our Neanderthal grandparents used to sew together, unless it was for an undergarment, like a loincloth, which is, of course, was the original undergarment that we all wore, including women. So you understand, in the old days, that's all we wore. There wasn't nothing else, just a little thread of dirty cloth to cover our privates. And even back then, some men struggled with a little cloth to hide their manhood. But that had nothing to do with why humans back in the cave days started wearing loincloths. The history of the loincloth is varied and interesting. We know loincloths was a thing among Egyptians some 3,000 years ago, and even King Tut was buried with like 150 pairs to help the kid out in the afterlife. Now, just as an aside, the rumor is that Howard Carter, the dude that discovered King Tut's tongue, tried to pair her on. But that might not be true, because I made it up. But I would have. So maybe he did. But old King Tut couldn't have had a single pair of woven underwear without those who came before him learning how to weave. Evidence of humans weaving with plant fibers can be dated back some 30,000 years, way before the pyramids. Weaving with cloth, well, that dates back to the Neolithic age, some 12,000 years ago. Now, I know in today's world, men, at least real men, don't wear skirts, but I'm telling you, your ancestors did. And the reason skirts are important is because they were pretty much the first article of clothing after the loincloth. And guess what people back in the day wore underneath their skirts? That's right, loincloths. And before you know it, men and women were running around in all kinds of skirts and dresses, and underwear was suddenly a thing. Now, I most certainly cannot continue with this video without everyone understanding the history of the bra. You know, that fabled article of clothing that every young man everywhere has struggled with. And the most interesting thing is that the history of the bra is mostly tied to a woman's social status. And now, just let me say, I was not prepared for all the scholarly studies that have been done regarding the bra and its impact on human history. Suffice it to say that women have always used some kind of material to support, cover, restrain, and even enhance their breasts. But it wasn't until the invention of the corset that the bra flourished. And it flourished because the style back then was to hide a woman's breast. And just for clarification, each breast had their own private cup. And I'm saying that as a point of historical accuracy. Of course, the bra has gone through various changes over the last couple hundred years, and believe it or not, it wasn't until the early 20th century that we'd recognize what we call a bra today. And yes, all that hard work designing bras throughout all of history went out the door in the 70s when women decided they didn't need to wear bras anymore. And for men, that was probably one of the happiest decades there ever was. Yes, my friend, the history of our underwear is a fascinating tale of things we appreciate in life. A good loincloth, skirts, corsets, and bras are all appreciated. And I'm personally glad to be alive in a time when I can choose a thong, boxers, or the old tighty-whities. And however I choose, I have a multitude of colors and patterns to choose from, as well material, including silk, which I've always thought was weird because who sees your underwear? That's right, my friends, we do keep our underwear a secret, because that's who we are. And I'm guessing you got some fine sequin lace undies on, don't you? The underwear. Yeah, I don't know where I come up with these subjects, but like everything I do, every video I do, I always like to learn a little bit or a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter. Yeah. that's one of the criteria that I use, unless it's like a totally nonsense video. And I got one of those coming up too. But for the most part, when I choose a video, it's a video that I have an interest in. I want to learn something about it. Yeah, okay, underwear. When I got to thinking about it, I started doing this, and what am I getting myself into? Yeah, just what? Type in the history of the bra, or research on the history of the bra. Jesus Christ, what? People got an obsession with bras in this country. Does that? I don't know. I was absolutely astounded at that. At all the studies that had been done on the bra. None on the underwear, though. But I got that one covered. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, do what you want to do what you always do. Most of you do nothing, but some of you actually do watch. So, oh, and remember, please change your underwear.